Hello and welcome to the Battery Magazine. Hi, I'm Shweta and we are here at Voltseal booth. So we have with us Mr. Abhijeet Pandey and Mr. Mudit Narain sir. Both are the co-founders of Voltseal. Hello sir, welcome to the interview. And how is India Energy Storage Week treating you? Please tell us.
India Energy Storage Week is a fantastic convention with people from buyers, vendors, a lot of BESS manufacturers of various sizes and types, and it's a delight to be here.
Thank you so much, sir. Please enlighten us about Voltseal and what brought you to IESW and what products and solutions you have brought to IESW this year.
So, Voltseal, basically we are right now designing the entire battery energy storage systems. For us, the only component that is currently coming from the outside market of India is this other cells. But all the other things for us are indigenously developed and designed. Even our BMS and EMS are manufactured here by us only, and that is, I think, one of our bigger USPs, because we have control on what we are building. In addition to that, the product that we are committing is well engineered to the application of the CNI customers. Our products are ranging from 300 kilowatt hours to 5 megawatt hours, and we are currently focusing on servicing the different segments of CNI customers. For Voltseal, the pipeline is building stronger, and the idea of getting this to the customer and deploying the product is kind of nearing its pace. In addition to that, I would request Mudit to speak and help us with the software suite that we are building on top of it.
So we believe that batteries by themselves are very useful to reduce your energy bill, your diesel bill. But as soon as you insert a battery in the electrical system of a facility, like it can be a factory, a warehouse, a dairy, whatever, it offers many avenues of optimization and energy conservation. And we are enabling multiple avenues such as peak shaving, such as demand optimization, diesel replacement with our battery system. So our battery system is not a system which is looking for a problem. We are building our systems to address the challenges being faced by industries. And that is where we think that having control and having knowledge of our BMS and EMS is critical for the client to understand how to best utilize this asset.
So, as coming to this business, into BESS, what are the major challenges in India you are facing right now? And how you have, what is in your mind to overcome those?
So BESS is a very new asset. Almost everybody in the electrical sector has used transformers, capacitor banks, and a variety of other assets. BESS is new, so it will take time for people to understand how to use it, when to use it, where to apply it. That said, there is a lot of policy support. Just yesterday, there was a big report by the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister on how storage is now critical to continue India's solar revolution. And we've seen that with a lot of policy changes and modifications to include BESS in the system. So there's a lot of policy support. In a sense, the sector is still trying to catch up with the ambitions of the government. What we are seeing now is an emerging ecosystem of vendors, integrators, and solution providers who can put together a good layer for BESS for users of various sizes in the country. The challenges right now are that this is a new system. Many people will learn how this is included, and that takes some time to overcome. But I believe that we are at a point where, let's say, solar energy was in 2011, 12, and around that time. But the BESS sector's growth will be compressed into a much shorter time than we saw solar. So in 5 to 6 years, we believe it will be a very mainstream technology, a mainstream part of many electrical systems. And we are just at the beginning of that journey.
And just two more points to add to that. So what this is leading to is, because it's a newer asset, as Mudit said, it is basically causing us right now also to kind of work with every CNI customer in different segments lead the education front on how batteries or BESS systems would be used and utilized. And having said that, obviously one of the bigger primary challenge that the country is seeing, or the manufacturers like us are seeing, is the dependency on the Chinese market for cells. But slowly and steadily, I think our Indian players and some of them being forward leaning on this, are trying to manufacture cells. So as it becomes more domestic, I think the system's adoption will also keep on increasing.
So we all know that we have a target of 500 gigawatt by 2030, right? And for that, every company right now, even the renewable ones, are coming into BESS. So also this decade is called the BESS decade, energy storage decade. So according to your view, what are the trends you are observing right now in the industry? And as safety, performance and reliability is paramount. So coming back to that part, how is your company contributing to that?
So the safety parameters, the standards and certifications required are still evolving. There have been a few announcements from the government in recent months on establishing the baselines. We believe that all of that is still a work in progress. We will of course be adhering to the standards required by Indian regulators as well as exceeding them, because the battery has to work in a very tough environment for almost a decade, and that environment is very different from lab conditions. So we are making sure that we are designing not just for the lab, not just for testing, for clearing the testing standards, but far exceeding them so that the customer gets long-term service from this asset. We are seeing many different players are assembling different parts of the ecosystem. A system like this, which has to work for a decade, has to be thought of in one cohesive way, in a comprehensive design. That's what we bring to the system. We test almost every cell that comes in. All of the electronic and software components are built by us in-house in our Noida facilities. So there's a integrity to it which will be the best solution available to a customer.
And very simple, I think, and Mudit was telling me, he's attended this some years back. It used to be a small space in which all the ecosystem could be consolidated. Today you are taking one hall, 2 or 3 halls to even consolidate the ecosystem. So that's the rise of adoption, and I think it is going to grow. We are seeing, as we are talking, every time, every day, I think newer BESS players or ecosystem creators are popping up and coming into the market and really contributing with new edge and cutting edge technology in the ecosystem.
Coming back to the question which is about trends. What trends are you observing in the market right now?
So at least I can actually differentiate on the BTM and FTM side. So on the BTM side with the CNI customers, we are definitely seeing the adoption, as Mudit said, large cases that are emerging for different application, and they are primarily driven by the regional requirements. So for example, Maharashtra is heavy on peak shaving, Northern India is heavy on DG replacement cases. So those kind of trends are shaping up the market by region. One of that is there. The second thing is the overall adoption by the CNI customers in terms of understanding that this adds value to their overall energy cost reduction is a big trend that we are starting. So as I said earlier, education is required there, but definitely that's another trend that we are observing. The third thing is on the FTM side, with the new tenders and everything coming in, I think not only conventionally large players, but smaller players also, startups like ours are also participating and taking the forward lead and kind of servicing those requirements, meaning the target that you are talking about is kind of not only serviced now by 4 or 5 players, but is serviced by a larger set of players that are entering into the market. So these are some of the emerging trends on both the sides.
And the trend is being driven by a lot of push from the regulators, from the ministries, and already Maharashtra has a mandate for almost all solar installers or those who have solar in their premises, and that trend is now being followed. Rajasthan has a 10% mandate. So those mandates are now expanding, and those will lead to more and more adoption in the coming few years.
So So as I can see, you are talking about sustainability and net zero. So what do you want to enlighten us a little about that?
One piece of statistics often gets discussed, that the energy that comes to the solar energy that comes to India in a day is enough to power the country for almost 2/3 of the year. That is a very, very surprising statistics, right? So if you are able to capture the solar energy coming in, you don't need oil, you don't need natural gas, you don't need coal. So now the challenge is, can you capture that? We've done as a country quite well in solar energy. Now can we use that energy in other applications? Applications of industry, applications of transport, and that requires varying the form and the time of energy. That is where storage becomes critical. And storage in that way is a very critical path to energy sovereignty. And so we believe that we are not just building BESS systems, we are building bricks on the pathway to India's energy sovereignty. There is no rich country which is also not a heavy user of energy. And contrary, there is no country which has a very high amount of energy and is poor. So you do need energy for economic growth. India has the ambition of becoming a developed country in a few years, and that will require energy. And storage will provide the pathway to having your own energy, so sovereignty, and being free of carbon dioxide very soon.
Very well said, sir. So in the coming years, like about 5 years, where we can see Voltseal and what innovations you have in mind to brought in India, please tell us.
So I think our ambition is to kind of right now build a very quality product, learn from different applications, and over a period of time build robustness into the system that we are building, to ensure that, as Mudit said, these products are not just there to be used for 1 or 2 years. These are going to be in your premises for almost 10 to 12 years. So ensuring the overall performance and quality is what we will focus on. Going forward, definitely as Voltseal, we have ambitions to scale across different segments, and also on the different sides of BTM and FTM. So that's largely our goal.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your insights, and we wish you all the very best for your future. Thank you so much.